Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to the Outpost. We are going to be playing a game of Relics and Ruins is the system we're using. It's a free system you can find on Drive Through RPG based on the OSR. Um, the name of this adventure is Melody's Canticle. It is based on an adventure from an old dungeon magazine. Uh, I have one player. Probably will turn out to be a short shot based on going to the location, hopefully, and arriving and taking care of the issue. Uh, the background information goes as what a better way for you to spend a rainy and cool day in the Speared Wolf Tavern, enjoying a meal and a drink. Maybe even old Rufus will let you play a game of cards for some silvers in your pocket. As you're sitting there enjoying your drink, your food, not worrying about the cool rain falling outside, the door opens very hastily, and in stumbles this young elf. As he walks in, he says, "Please, please help me. It took my companion. Well, my valuables too." And you look at the robe that he's wearing, and his hands and his face are mud stained. And you see maybe a few stains of blood and some bruising along the side of his face as you're looking at him. And as you do, we scan over to a table where we see our two characters sitting there enjoying their drink and their food. And Crystal, if you can tell me about who you're going to be playing.
I'm going to be playing two characters tonight. One is Get Gruck Stillhand. He's a dwarf fighter. He's sitting there enjoying a big thing of dwarven ale. He has a little bit of kind of age on his face a little bit. I mean, you can tell he's been through some things, even though he hasn't quite started graying in the hair yet, and his beard still seems to be that of a sort of young dwarf. He has basically the eyes of a person who's seen some things. And sitting next to him, or probably actually sitting like at another table, is a little rogue halfling whose name is Poofy Bondoth, and Poofy is she's much more childlike and stuff. Of course, being a halfling. She's currently sitting like basically right behind him at another table. She has like some cards. And as everyone is distracted and sort of looks towards this man who just ran in, you see her quickly shove one card into her sleeve and pull out another card.
Yes, and everyone is taking note of this young, handsome elf, and he's looking back and forth to all the tables, just back and forth, and he says it again. "Please, please, who can help me? That awful creature. It took my companion and most of my valuables too, and it killed our guard. I need help. I cannot face it myself."
At the sound of valuables, Poofy will stand up and say, Oh, hey, fear not. You caught us all off guard, pal. A creature took most of your valuables, you say? Oh, well, my friend and I could certainly help retrieve those for you.
He starts making his way over to where you're seated, and I am Varian the Bard. I am fairly well known throughout the countryside. We were on a tour traveling, me and my companion. Of course, I play the instruments, and she has the beautiful voice of everyone would likes to hear. And um, we trade out our talents for usually coin, but a lot of times we acquire. Yes, yes, I guess maybe valuables to some, maybe not to so many. But he pulls out this old leather satchel as he opens it up, and I was able to grab this before that horrible giant attacked us and stole, kidnapped. Yes, kidnapped my companion and struck my guard in the head with an awful club. And there's nothing left of poor Raelian. He's not in this life anymore. I will sing a wonderful tune to lament him soon. But that's the main important thing. We need to find my companion and my valuables. And you look like you would need help, though.
Get Crook and Poofy as well. Each eye this old leather sack, and Grit Grit will actually be the one who says, "So what'd you manage to grab before this beast made off with your companions?"
Well, I believe what I have in this sack will become of value to you. I give it to you to use in the quest to return my friend and my other valuables. And he opens this old leather satchel up and starts digging around in it. Roll me each character can roll a d4, so whoever wants to go first.
Oh, not muted. Okay. I thought I muted myself. Lighting up a cigar. Okay. Since Grit was the one reaching out, Get Gruck was the one reaching out first. He got a 2.
All right. Get Gruck. He reaches in and he says, you look like a very strong warrior yourself, but I believe that this will help you. And he pours out this a bottle, this small glass bottle, and he starts kind of, shaking it up a little bit. And you see it swirling inside, kind of a light brownish liquid that's swirling inside. And he says, I have been told that this will give you the endurance of a bear if you drink it just before you go into battle. And he hands this to you, and he says, please, you may find it useful fighting the giant. And he hands it to you.
Grit Gruck takes it. He eyes it a little bit. He doesn't know much about, magical potions and things of that nature. But he nods and he knows that, such things, of course, can be, fairly valuable. So he puts that like in his belt pouch. And Poofy says like, ooh, magical potions. That sounds awesome. You got another one? And she rolls a 2 as well.
All right, re-roll for me then. Should have known that would happen.
Yeah. She rolls a 1.
A 1, okay.
Ring of invisibility.
He reaches in the satchel and he says, well, I also acquired this one time. And he pulls out, at first it does look like a potion bottle, but it's quite a bit taller. Maybe the probably looks like 3 potion bottles tall. It's more of a bottle. And he says, well, this was given to me by an old man one time. And he told me that if I ever needed to flee an area without anybody seeing me, to just uncork this bottle, and it would take care of covering my tracks. And you see the bottle inside, you see it kind of swirling around, kind of like almost a gray white smoke, almost like a big cloud of smoke that is moving and swirling around inside of this bottle. And he hands you the large bottle, and he says, maybe this will protect you and your friends if you are able to retrieve my companion, and maybe all of y'all can escape the awful giant.
Wow, that looks really cool. Okay. Uh, okay. Yeah, sure. Um, and um, and you said there were valuables too, right?
Well, yes, but the awful giant took the valuables. Please, if you bring them back, I will definitely be glad to give you your share for your honorable duty.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we can talk about our cut when we get back. How about that, Grit Gruck? And Grit Gruck just kind of and he grabs his tankard and just like pulls it back and just until it's empty, and then just slams the empty container on the table. And he gets up with Poofy, who's by this point was already at the door and like getting her cloak on, and super excited to be going on, another mission.
Yep, and as you do, I'm going to put in a chat what those two items will do for you as far as mechanically, so you'll know. You won't really know, but
I'm guessing one's a potion of endurance, and the other must be like a potion of like not invisibility, but what's that? What's that spell called? I have it on another character I'm going to be using in a game later on. Hide tracks or whatever.
not really. There's Git Grux. I mean, you're close on portion of it, but
Pass without trace. That's what I was thinking of. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put a question mark next to these because I'm not sure I trust them.
all right. And there's Poofy's bottle, what it does. And it will last roughly about the turn also. 10 minutes, for up to 10 minutes, maybe.
All right. Okay, cool.
But yeah, as y'all begin to head
I'm
out,
guessing though that does that does that one that Poofy has, does that hinder her vision at all?
yeah, I mean, if you try to, anybody that's in that 30-foot radius will have everything at -4 if they're trying to do anything, because it's kind of just a big gray cloud.
Okay, all right. Okay, sounds good.
But and it takes one round. Like say if you unstopper it to use it, on your turn, it will actually not go into effect till the next round. It takes like one turn, one round for it to disperse
Makes
and
sense.
do that.
Makes sense. Okay.
And yeah, y'all head off. He takes you back to the location just outside of where you're at, and it's still a light rain coming down. It's definitely let up from where it was earlier in the day, but it's kind of soggy and cool. It's the end of summer, almost early fall. But you come to this location of where he was, and you see the overturned small wagon that him and his companions were on, and you see the body of what appears to be kind of probably an armed soldier type guy in chainmail. And he says, "Yes, that was my friend. We'll have to get his body back to town, and The giant, though, he come out from the edge of the woods over there, and he just attacked us with ferocity. And I don't know. I've never told a story. Have you ever seen a giant with two heads? He looks at you very seriously.
Uh, I mean, Grit Gruck, he's like level 3, so he's probably seen something, maybe enough to kind of like, kind of be like, I've never seen it, but I mean, you know, I mean, it could exist, of course. So, I mean, he's not necessarily, doubting. And, and Poofy, I mean, she's all into it. 2 heads. Oh, that's so rad. I'm totally going to take one of them and mount them, and you can take the other Dick Ruck and you can mount it.
Yeah, and they both can. If you want to make a like a skill check on intelligence, y'all could both do it. And if there's anything that in your background that would give you something advantage, you could make it an advantage roll. But if not, just both of them could make a skill check. A D20 plus your modifier for intelligence plus the level, and you got to get a 15 or higher.
Okay, let's see here. I don't think so. Grit Gruck used to be a beggar, and Poofy used to be a smith apprentice. Person
Yeah,
of
so it would just be standard,
Poofy, so,
standard roll.
Yeah, I don't think so. All right, so I'll roll for Grit Gruck first. I'm gonna get out my other set of dice here. That way,
right.
I roll for both of them at the same time. But I'll just go ahead and roll first. Grit Gruck will roll in his intelligence first. Let's see. He got a total of 6, so he probably doesn't know anything about this. Of course, that's for you to decide. And Poofy got a total of 7. So
yeah, they both knowing that this elf variant has told him that he's a bard, then he sings songs and makes up tales and stuff. They probably both think that he's kind of silly about a giant with 2 heads. They've never heard of anything like that before at all.
Yeah. So Grit Gruck, I mean, Poofy's all into it, like whatever, but Grit Gruck kind of gives Poofy that look of like, don't take his word at face value, Either way, they'll continue doing what it is they came for. And let's see, I would like for both of them to basically investigate the scene of this incident. And
yeah, you definitely see very large tracks. Of course, with it being muddy and rainy, you see very large tracks of a very large humanoid that is set in these very large prints, and you can definitely tell that. For one, he's not lying about it being a giant-sized humanoid for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's at least one point for him. All right. So, all right. So, as far as like closer look at things, let's see. Poofy wants to investigate like the body of the guard. Specifically, she'll look for coins. Actually, you know what? No, Grit Gruck's going to investigate actually the body of the guard, and that's actually what he's going to be kind of looking for, coins and such. And Poofy's going to examine the card itself and see if she can find just any kind of general thing, anything that can give them any information. If she finds valuables, that's also good. But
yeah, as you're looking at, we'll start with the cart itself. You can tell it's just been ransacked and almost broke in half, part of it by some either heavy object or a heavy, probably fist or something. You find it just in disarray. There's probably some different type of blankets or covering up tarps and stuff like that, but you don't see anything that looks of any value. as we scan over to the body of the chainmailed fighter there, as you turn his body over, he's holding a long sword, and you can tell that definitely the falling blow to him was some type of very massive blow from what appears to be some type of club. I mean, it's not a piercing weapon or slashing. It's just a very blunt, like part of his whole side of his body just caved in from this large, probably a club that hit him.
Okay, but no rolls to see if they can find any like valuables or anything.
Nothing in the cart. Roll a d6 for the looking at the body. Whoever's get Gurks looking at the body.
All right, get Gurks is gonna be my blue dice, and I'll drop my d6. Let's see what I'm getting on. 5. So.
Yeah, you actually find a little belt pouch that's hidden like in one of his pockets or whatever. As you're looking around, moving the body, and it has 5 silver pieces in it.
Nice. All right. Gurk's gonna pocket those for now.
Yeah, and Varian's not paying any attention. You can just tell that he's definitely devastated. He's kind of looking off at where you can see the tracks of this giant humanoid is left going back into the woods. He's just kind of pondering, holding his hand up and looking out that way of where it left.
All right. So Poofy and Get Gruck have been working together for a little while by now. So Poofy is going to look at Get Gruck and say, I lead, you follow as usual. And Get Gruck nods as he kind of pulls on his upper part of his beard, like his mustache, kind of like pulls them with both of his fingers, kind of trying to smooth them out. This rain and everything is starting to make him curl a little bit. He hates that. So Poofy's gonna sneak ahead, and he's gonna sneak up the trail a little ways.
Yeah, and of course, the elf Varian shows you once you start that way. He says, "Yes, that's where the two-headed giant took my companion, and well, when you see her, you will know why. She's one of the most beautiful women you've ever seen. She's fair-skinned and fair-haired, and please bring her back safe. I'm going to return back to the tavern, and I will await your safe return there."
No problem. And yeah, Poofy's gonna continue up the trail. And she sneaks about, I'd say around 30 feet or so. And after she sneaks about 30 feet, assuming it's safe and everything, she does kind of like this little bird whistle, back to Get Gruck. Again, they've worked together for a while, so they know their different, signs and stuff. And this certain kind of bird whistle would just be meaning safety. And so, then he'll start, walking. And when she hears him begin to walk to follow, then she'll sneak up another 30 feet basically. And so that's how they're going to continue all the way towards the cave. She sneaks out about 30, feet or so, does a safety whistle. If he gets about 30 feet in before she does a safety whistle, then he'll wait.
Yeah, and the trail that's been left behind is very easy to follow. Of course, like I say, it's been raining, and the ground is pretty well saturated with mud and stuff. And this creature, whatever it is left he's left an easy trail to follow. Let's put it that way, as you're able to. And you go into a little forested area and follow that, and you notice that they start going to where it kind of appears to be turning from a flatland grasslands into a kind of a hilly area at the edge of the forest. Y'all probably travel good, you would think, maybe 20, 30 minutes, if you had to guess. I mean, of course, with the way you're doing it, it may be longer, or it could be a little shorter, but you think it's 20 or 30 minutes in as you start entering this hilly range. And as you enter the hills, both of you kind of, the rain has let up quite a bit. There's just like a slow drizzle that's coming down now, just enough to annoy everybody that you wish it would stop. But first, you're kind of aware of a creeping sense of melancholy. It fills your thoughts for no apparent reason. And you're thinking, okay, well, what's kind of causing this? And with Poofy being up front, she hears it first. You hear a faint echo of what sounds like a woman's voice singing. And it's just a song that it just burns sorrow straight into your mind as you hear it. And you can tell as you're moving on up into these hills that it's not in common. It's not being sung in common at all. You would think it's probably being sung in Elvish. Do any of y'all speak Elvish?
Well, Cookie has a +2 intelligence. You usually get like 2 extra languages for every +1. So,
well, I don't know. Does this system do that? I'll have to look real quick. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Well, let me look and see what it says. Yeah, she's got 12. You said.
She's got a +2 intelligence.
Yeah, so that's what I meant. I'm just used to saying, but yeah, +2. Yeah, and if she wants to pick that language, she can. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, she knows. She'll know that language. I mean, Elvish is very common, so it makes sense.
Let me see if I can.
And as for Get Gruck, he has a +0 to his intelligence, so he likely only knows Common and Dwarvish.
All right. Well, it won't let me. I don't know why it won't let me copy it off the PDF, but I'm going to type in. I guess it's going to take me a second, so you can see what she is hearing. I'm going to put commas for.
I think if you hold shift and press enter, it'll just make a new line.
Yeah, I'm not for sure on this. It don't matter. You can read it all, I'm sure, for. Yeah, hearing this song, you definitely it's a sense of sadness in both of y'all. All right, see how it turns out. That's what you hear. That's the words you hear being sung in Elvish. At least Poofy does.
Okay. Well, once she gets up to where she can actually hear these words, and once she does see that there's no danger around, she does another safety whistle to get Gruck, and this time she waits for him to actually catch up. And when he gets there, like she'll translate what's being said, knowing that he doesn't speak Elvish.
All right. It's kind of like a repeat. I mean, you hear these lines being sung, and then it may be just some general singing, and then you kind of hear some of these lines being repeated again.
Well, certainly seems we do have a bard hostage. Get Gruck comments, and can they tell like which way the singing is coming from, or does it kind of seem to be all around them a little bit?
Yeah, once you maybe like they're both sitting there discussing as she's translating of what's being sung, you're able to pinpoint the location of what you would think it's probably just over a little bit of a hill range. It's in front of you, but definitely that you think you're headed in the right direction.
Okay. Hoovy will take time to go ahead and sneak up that range And she's gonna like get low and kind of like crawl up over the hill, just in case it's like an open field or something. You know, she's gonna stay crouched as low as she can, and Greg's gonna hang back just a little bit till she can look over the hill and see what's on the other side.
Yep, and as she does, this is what she will see. You see a tower that appears to be 75 foot tall and 60 foot square with a crenulated roof. Though it was designed with access from the third floor to the roof, a collapsing battlement appears to have sealed part of it down upon a big, large slab of rock that's crashed in on it. You notice that the stone appears to be almost two different colors that indicate maybe the walls at one time was under some type of reconstruction and all of that. You notice that this tower, this old abandoned tower, is just standing there, off the side of one of the hills, and you hear the voice coming from within the tower. And you also notice standing in front of this tower appears to be two smaller humanoid figures. I say smaller; they're probably, from where you're at, you're probably 100 foot away. We'll say appears to be maybe they're 6 foot tall, somewhere in that area there, and they're humanoid. And as you're looking closer, you would think maybe they're orcs, two orcs that are standing outside of this tower.
Okay. How does range work in this? Because I know the weapons have like my short bow has a range of 50, but I'm guessing it's probably actually triple that.
Yeah, it should. Let's look real quick. I've got the book right here that I made.
Looking for, but I'm not.
It's a short bow, you said?
Yeah, range. Okay, to do a range.
50 foot for short bow. So it doesn't say. I would say middle range though. It's say double 50 would be 100, and they're right at 100. We'll say. So it's not going. It won't be any plus or bonus. It'll just be regular.
Are there any hills or rocks or anything closer to them?
No, you notice that area where this old tower is, it's been, probably the ground itself was cleared out many years ago whenever the tower was originally built, to keep any, anything like that away where you could have good visual. Of course, back then there would probably been a thing on the top of the roof itself, but since it's crashed in some, but yeah, there's no actual height. It's pretty open around the tower, in other words.
Okay, all right. Well, that sucks. How close is it till nightfall?
Let me see. We'll just do it randomly. You would think it's probably that after the time this happened and you've got to this far, you would think roughly maybe 2 hours of sunlight left. Of course, it's cloudy right now, of course, with the storm that's come through.
Okay. Well, still, I don't want to wait too long. She'll bird whistle down to get drunk, but this time the whistle's slightly different, and it's more of like a meaning for them to be cautious, and she'll kind of signal for them to stay low. And so Get Gruck will follow, and he'll also crawl up to the top of the hill. And he kind of rubs his beard a little bit. Okay, let's see. Backstab and then just sneak up on target unknown strength plus 3 hit. So I'm guessing that's only melee. Okay. Backstab or melee only, which is fine. I mean, that's how it really should be. Like backstabbing with a bow, I hate.
Yeah, and you would think just by, Poofy would know this from experience. She would know just from the way the area is set up, it would be very difficult to try to sneak up on them. I mean, unless you did wait to nightfall, I mean, she could probably have a chance then. It would be pretty hard, but, if they're still out on post there, but it would be very hard with any type of daylight to sneak up on these two orcs.
All right. Tell you what, they don't want to wait too long. So because they don't want this person dead. I mean, they are getting paid to hopefully bring this person back alive. So rubbing his beard, Get Gruck will suggest that they wait just like 10 minutes or so, just to see if there's any anyone patrolling around the area, basically. And in that time, they'll come up with a plan for how they're going to proceed.
You notice these two orcs, are just not, they're supposed to be guarding, but they're not paying that much attention. I mean, one of them keeps playing with like this large hand axe that he's got. He keeps throwing it. Seems to be like in a piece of old wood or something there in front of the tower. And the other one appears that he's got some type of probably what you would think would be a long bow. He's got this bow and he keeps popping the string on it and stuff. They're just acting like they're very bored. And seeing the tower a little bit closer as you're observing it, appears that it has the lower structure of the ground floor appears to still be in pretty good condition from what you can see from where you're at. And you see two large doors that enter into it, and they're both swung open inwards. Both of the doors are swung inward. You can't see past in there, but I mean, you can tell the doors are open into the tower itself.
Okay. And no one comes in or out. No one comes around.
Not even during that time. You just those two orcs are outside, and that's all you see.
All right. Well, hopefully there's no active patrols. Get Gruck decides that he says all right, I'll go up and I'll get their distraction or whatever, and basically you stay here and we don't want them retreating back into the tower, so I'm gonna try and get them to come out a little bit and basically you fire at whichever one is probably the bowman, because they will not come into melee with me. And Vivi, of course, agrees to the plan, and she pulls her short bow from her quiver and starts to get it strung and everything.
Okay.
And,
I said, okay, that's good.
And then Gruck is going to he'll pull himself. He's gonna kind of crawl a bit away, kind of go a little bit lower so he can walk away from where she's at on the hill, and that way he'll come up in a new location so she can kind of stay hidden where she's at and get ready. So hopefully they won't be looking at her part of the hill he comes over the hill,
Right, exactly.
And so he gets it. He'll pull his shield onto his shield arm, and he's not going to take his hammer at first. He just has it on him, and so as he's coming down the hill. These are orcs. Dwarves hate. Is it just goblins that dwarves have a racial hate for, or is it orcs as well? I think it's just goblins, right?
You mean by rules wise, or just normally?
Normally.
I
mean, they're kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, he probably definitely has some distaste for him, and especially with with them being involved in what's transpired. I mean.
Well, I know they hate. If it was a goblin, then I would just say he would just take out his hammer and rush them. But because they're orcs, I'm gonna say he managed to stay at least a little bit level-headed, and he keeps his hammer down by his side, though his hand is definitely he's ready to reach down and grab it so as he's kind of coming, and he's kind of just walking straight towards them, just walking in an official way, as if he belongs there, basically, just with confidence that he's supposed to be there.
Yep, he can do that. And as you kind of break the barrier of that 100 foot, and start approaching the tower, the first thing is the smell. You get this awful, just like a stench that comes wafting across the air. You don't smell the cool mist of the rain anymore and the cleansing. You smell this awful stench. It just almost gags you as you're starting to get closer to the tower. And neither of them have noticed you as you're approaching. We'll say you've moved 20 feet, you're 80 feet from the tower. Roughly.
Okay. Um. Well, they will be notice him first. Can Poofy like move with her bow like strung?
Yeah, I mean, is she wanting to move into the open or just kind of move to around the edge of where she's at?
She wants to, if she can, sneak to where she could get a closer shot, just in case.
Yeah, make a.
If she's noticed that he's moved up like 20 or 30 feet and they haven't noticed him, like he's just going to keep walking. But if she's noticed that he hasn't, hopefully when they do see something move, they'll see him first,
Yeah, let her make a skill check, for her hiding and stuff, and you can actually have advantage at it, so 2d20, and you add your modifiers level, and then if she's got any feats that would add in for kind of sneaking around some.
Oh, nice. Okay, she with advantage, I rolled a 19.
Oh yeah.
Say +4 due to she has the sneaky feat. She gets a +2 from being a halfling, so that's a +6. And then she's level 2, so that's a +8. So,
oh yeah. So she's definitely.
We're playing 5e here, Tony.
She is definitely able to keep herself out of the vision of these orcs, and as Get Gruck keeps going in, you see the orc that is had the bow. You see him, speaking orc or whatever, jibber jabbering about something, and he's not noticed Get, but the guy that had the axe, he sees you coming, and he, touches the shoulder of the other one, and they both turn and look at you now. We'll say you're 50 feet from them, and you hear the one with the bow yell out something in orc. He doesn't speak orc, does he?
No, he don't.
But you hear him yell something out in orc, and it's not very friendly, of course, whatever he's yelling at you, and you see him starting to get an arrow knocked into his bow. He hasn't shot it yet as you're continuing to move that other way, and the other one has this. You can tell it's not a battle axe; it's more like a hand axe, but it's a bigger hand axe, and he's gripping it with both of his hands, sitting there looking as you're approaching.
Yeah, Get Gruck. He has his shield. Poofy is trying to sneak up closer. She's going to sneak as close as she can get. Get Gruck, when he sees like them knocking the arrows and stuff, he's going to just kind of like raise his hammer arm and kind of like whoa kind of manner, and he's gonna keep walking though.
All right, when you get within,
and, hopefully the axe one will like at least come to him.
Yeah, when you get within 30 feet, there's still jibber jabbering stuff to you, especially the one with the bow. You can tell maybe he's the one that's leading the organization, or the two at least. But they're yelling something at you, and the one with the bow, he shoots an arrow towards you, and it lands probably within 10 feet of you. Kind of like almost a warning shot, you would think. Are you going to continue on towards him?
Once he gets the warning shot, he's about 30 feet away.
Yeah, we'll say 30 by now.
All right, that's fine. All right, once he gets the warning shot, then he'll stop, and he's going to kind of sigh as if he's kind of in a hurry and doesn't have time for this. And but he kind of has his arm up, and he just like he puts his like hand like basically down on his hammer, but just like kind of like he's tapping the top of it, and like kind of like he's waiting for them to at least one of them to come speak to him. That's like he's kind of acting like he's just waiting there for them to come speak to him.
All right. Does Poofy, is she going to want to get any closer to try to sneak in any closer, or is she still staying within that 80 to 100-foot range?
Mm, I mean, she kind of would like to get within at least 50 feet. I mean, they're kind of focused on him right now, so hopefully they won't be looking around too much.
Yeah, both of them are looking at him. The one with the bow, he knocks another arrow. And at this point, let's just roll initiative because it's probably fixing to come to that. So it's D6 if you got a dex bonus.
Poofy has a 3, and Get Gruck has a 5.
All right, I'm going to move Get up because the orcs had a 5 also. So Get, you can go first. You can see the one with the bow as he's knocked another arrow, and you see like you could just sense like he's aiming this time that he's probably going to shoot at you for sure and not like a warning shot. You can tell he's taking aim for sure. The one with the axe is just sitting there holding the axe still.
All right. Well, then Get then will pull his hammer and he'll let out a dwarvish battle cry and he'll begin running forward at the targets.
Yeah, I'm going to say as you're running, you can close the distance to get close to him. You probably had 25, 30 feet to go, so you can definitely close the distance. And at the same time, the orc with the bow is going to shoot an arrow with you, and he is going to miss horribly. The arrow goes flying by. He probably didn't expect you to charge him, so he probably, where he was shooting, he thought he had a good shot, but it sails on past you at the same time as you're running. The orc with the axe, moves up enough to meet you probably 5 foot in front of the bowman. He's moving up to approach, hit you, so he's going to take a swing with his hand axe. And that is going to miss. What is Get's AC?
18 PM.
Oh, yeah, that misses him. So he swings at you with his hand axe, so now we're down to Poofy.
All right. Poofy then, seeing that the orc is engaged, Get, and knowing that Get is, he's really good at melee stuff. She can't get a backstab, so she's just going to move up. Well, let's see. She probably has pretty good movement. Could she move up like she'd have to move up another 30 to get. If she moves up like 30 feet, would she be able to fire this round?
Yeah, she can. Yeah, I mean, I think they say 30 feet in here. So, yeah, roughly 25, 30 feet, she can move up and
yeah, so if she can, she's going to get within that 50-foot close range.
Yep.
And shoot her short bow.
Yep, and you can have a +1 since you're within 50-foot short range.
Okay.
Plus whatever other bonuses you have, of course.
All right. On the attack, they don't get their level, right?
On attacks, to hit bonus, and if you got a dex, it'd be dex. And then the +1 I gave you also.
Oh, right. Hit bonus. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, yeah, so it's like a 21 to hit.
Yeah, you're the orc with the bow, right?
The orc with the bow, yes.
Yep, you hit him.
And she does max damage as well for 6 points.
Where does the arrow strike this thing to kill him for one shot?
Yeah, so she sneaks forward and she pulls her short bow back, like locking it into place right where it feels comfortable, and she looses the arrow as she takes aim at its heart, and the arrow flies through the air, and just like it's such distance that it's like there's a sound as the arrow slams into like its chest and like actually comes out the back. Like it doesn't go all the way through, but like the arrowhead itself like out the back, and it has this arrow like sticking right where its heart would be. And I would say I imagine like the orc kind of stands there and it's like almost like sort of surprised, like doesn't like looks down like what the fuck, and then just falls over dead.
Exactly. He did not see that coming at all, for sure. He is not with us anymore as he falls and his bow shatters. And we go back to Get as you're standing there at the other one on you with the hand axe.
All right. Get then with his Dorvish battle cry, he shouts out in Dwarvish, "Is that all you got, you ugly orc?" And he will roll, and that is a 16, 17, 18 to hit.
Yep.
Or 17 to hit, I think, just 17. And I also did max damage again, so that's 8 damage to him.
Oh wow, what does he do to take out his then?
Man, those are some lucky rolls. I'm gonna hate when I get to roll like shit the entire time. So with that one, he just when he says this, the orc kind of gets mad and like snarls at him, and that's of course exactly what Git wants as he brings his shield like around the thing, and then like brings his hammer just to kind of bend him over, and then slams his hammer straight to the orc's forehead, and there's a sickening cracking sound, and the orc like hits the ground dead.
Yeah, he didn't expect that either. Is the look on his face, and after you do that, it's quiet again. Besides the drizzling rain is coming down, you don't hear any other orcs running or any other type of backup. Everything seems back to quiet and silence after the battle.
All right, nice. So Poofy will run back down. Does she get a 50% chance to recover the arrow from the chest?
Yeah, just roll a D6.
I forgot. In this one, it's actually just a D12. So like.
Yeah, you got usage dice, so yeah.
Yeah. So do I need to roll that now?
Yeah, after combat, go ahead and roll it.
Okay. And of course, I rolled a 1. So
it's D12 for bows, you say?
Well, it said like to just like it was like 5 silver pieces for like per unit.
Oh well, I can say if it don't actually say, I'm going to give you a D8 for everything. So if it don't say the actual description, so you're knocked down to a D6 then.
All right.
Right.
I believe that's how.
Yeah. If you rolled a 1, it'll knock you down to D6 then.
Okay.
And both as she gets up there next to Git, and y'all both are standing 10 feet, 15 feet away from these large doors that open up. Both of you just get that awful stench of this gagging, just reeking almost like trash, and just it's. As you look in, you see the whole floor, the lower part, the ground floor of his tower is just probably littered with all this stuff. And if you approach just enough, a little bit closer to see inside, like on that map on the ground floor, you see on both sides, there's a pair of these threadbare tapestries that appear to probably go down 20 feet on each side, kind of like a grand entranceway into this old tower. But the smell is just, it's awful. And you can tell these tapestries have been weathered and stuff. I mean, they're aged and partially, falling apart and all of that. But you notice one other thing as you approach and see at the end of this corridor, the tapestry's end, you see this stone pedestal that's just kind of sitting there in the middle of the floor. And you see a skull sitting on it. And you can tell it's definitely a humanoid skull that's just sitting on this pedestal.
All right. Poofy will quickly check to see if she can find any traps out here in the entranceway.
No, she can do that. You don't even have to roll. I mean, she can. Like I say, the two large entrance doors are standing pushed in wide open. I mean, it's like they've been open and left open, and she feels pretty confident. That these orcs, that they don't have anything hidden for them, anybody entering.
Okay. I was going to say Grit would check the bodies just to be sure that there's no gold or anything on them.
No, that's one thing. You don't find anything besides their old crude weapons, and they were wearing like this hides as their armor and stuff. I mean, you don't find anything, and they smell awful too. But you can still a lot of the stench is from what's coming inside of the old tower.
All right. Poofy will give Git the signal that she's going to move up ahead, and Git will nod. And she's going to move up, up into the hallway. I'm guessing both of these lead to the same place, right?
Yeah, once you walk in, like I say, there's probably a 10-foot wide space. Kind of a walking path, and on each side, there's these large tapestries that are from ceiling to floor that's covering in about 20 foot. And you notice when you get to where that stone pedestal is with the skull, that's where those tapestries end. And as you do approach in, you can definitely see that that skull is a human. It's probably a skull of a human.
Okay. And are there like any stairs or rooms or anything that lead anywhere?
Not from where you can. Do you going up to the pedestal, just past the tapestries, or because
She wants to
these
sneak.
tapestries are blocking your view from either side?
She wants to be sneaky, but she will sneak up there. Yes.
Yeah, you are able to do that and get to the where it is. And if you get just to where that pedestal is, and just probably 5 foot past that tapestry on the right, if you look, you see what would probably you would think would be stairs, 15, 20 feet to the right that would lead up probably to the second floor, you would think, to the east.
Okay. 15 foot to the right of that lead. Okay.
Yeah, because I think each of those squares, I think it said was 5 foot. So roughly, 15, 20 foot to the east, you'll see a stairwell that what you would think would lead up to the second.
Okay. So she will give her safety bird whistle back to Get. Hopefully no one would find a bird being in this place odd. And Get will begin to move down the hall. And as she sees him move up down the hall, she'll sneakily sneak her way up these stairs.
All right.
Like as she gets towards the top, of course she's gonna be sneaky. So as she gets toward the top, she'll like crouch down real low. Also, she does have her bow out still, and she has like an arrow nocked just in case.
Yeah, and does anybody mess with the skull or the pedestal or look at it closer, or just go straight to the stairwell?
I mean, she sees it, but she's not gonna mess with it.
All right.
No need. She figures it's probably just some, signal of like, danger, stay out,
Yep. And once she goes up the stairwell, it's still pretty quiet. The singing, you can still hear the female's voice singing. It's not quite as maybe prominent as it was when it was outside. I mean, it's kind of a whispered down, maybe like she's is sung out or whatever, or just taking a break. You can kind of still hear some whistling and singing though coming, and it seems to come on up from probably where you would think the third floor of the deal. But when you appear and look into the second floor, this is what you see. You would think this was probably some type of barracks for soldiers or whatever, because you notice a bunch of cots and beds that are in the north corner that you're looking at. And you notice those. You don't see anything else moving. You do see two other things, though. On the south end, kind of where you come in from here, you come in from the east. So as soon as you look around that way, you see like a large water, what you would think would be a water barrel, probably a 55-gallon wooden water barrel. And sitting next to it, you see a wooden chest that is sitting next to it.
She'll give her. And there's no enemies, right?
Nope, you don't see anybody right now.
Okay. Any doors or anything? Any other stairs?
You notice stairs that are like when you come in on the east side. You notice there's a set of stairs on the south wall that kind of sit behind where that water barrel and that chest is, and it appears that they probably going up to the third floor.
All right. She'll give her cautious whistle again, and she'll begin to sneak over towards that chest. As Get is at the end of the hallway. Get may look at that skull a little bit. He's not really going to touch it though, but he may like look at it a little closer while she's sneaking up the stairs and checking out the area.
Yeah, Get's able to tell it's definitely a human skull, and from the way it's bleached and all that, it's very old, and it's just sitting there on top of that stone pedestal, but it's not recent for sure.
All right. As he hears the caution whistle, he kind of uh, he like shoulders his hammer, and he's feeling a little bit of rage now with someone someone having obviously put that skull there, trying to scare people out or whatever. You're not going to scare away a dwarf, So yeah, he's going to start making his way up the stairs, and Poofy is going to sneak on over towards that chest that she saw.
Yeah, once she gets over to the chest, it's very large. Once she gets up there and sees it closer, it's very, very long and you would think pretty deep. It's just a wooden chest and there's no lock on it. It's got a clasp that it's closed with, but you don't see any kind of lock mechanism on it.
She's going to look it over for traps.
Yeah, roll a skill check then.
Okay. Oh. Okay. That's plus her level. Oh man, she didn't do that great. 9 total.
Yeah, she's pretty confident. There's not any traps on it.
You don't add like wisdom or anything to that, right?
No, it'd just be your attribute modifier and the level.
All right, yeah. So she has a +4 for snake traps and 2 for her level. Yeah, so 9 total. She rolled a 3. Okay. Yeah, I mean, she's pretty confident that there's no traps. So, she's still, let's see, she's going to take out her dagger and, she's going to use her dagger to, pop the latch back and then, push it open.
Yeah, she's able to do that. And as soon as you pop the clasp, the clasp springs up real quick and you hear nothing as it opens without any kind of trap mechanism. And this is what she sees inside of it. It is filled with quite a bit of stuff. And if her and Git survive this, I will give you a detailed list. But you definitely see all various type of coinage. You see a ring, what appears to be a suit of human-sized chainmail, and some type of pendant. But you can tell there's quite a bit of treasure in this chest.
Nice. All right, cool. Okay, so yeah, she'll look over to Git, who's coming up the stairs at this point, and kind of give him like a very nice kind of look, and she'll put the chest back down quietly, and she points to the stairs that she's going to go up, and Git will nod. And she'll begin to sneak up those final stairs.
Yep, she's able to do that as you go up to the third floor of the old stone tower. And as you come out on the stairwell, she sees a very large, it's very open. You don't see any beds or anything, but you see what appears to be individual rooms with doors. You would appear like there's 3 on the north end and 3 on the south end. She come in off the south end. So there's 3 rooms that are cordoned off each other with doors. There's, like I say, 6 in total. You can hear the faint hum of the singing coming from one of those rooms.
And they're not doors, right? They're just like open hall.
Yeah. It's actually a hallway, and there's individual rooms with doors, and they're all closed. Okay. So, and it's real dusty up here. It doesn't appear that what traffic comes up here is not it's not much. We're still very dusty.
Okay. And there's 3 on each side.
Yep, 3 will say on the north end and 3 on the south end.
Okay, so she'll give a whistle back to get Gruck to be cautious, and he'll start making his way up.
When you give out the whistle, you hear the beautiful voice, singing voice, completely stop as you give out your whistle.
Okay. If she hears it stop, she's going to quickly look for a place that she can hide.
Yeah. You can try roll at disadvantage though, because this room itself is very open. I mean, you don't see any type of furnishings of anything in this room, but you can try.
Oh, disadvantage. Okay, that's a 9 total.
Yeah, you don't see anything that's confident enough on this floor that you would be able to hide at all.
I mean, she's still going to do her best, of course. So, so I mean, she at least believes she's, like.
Yeah, she believes she can, but yeah,
I mean,
it's still quiet.
She's a halfling. They're small and everything. So. And then Get Grug starts coming up the stairs, and he's just like in his plate or whatever.
He would probably notice. He would, of course, y'all have heard the melody of singing and all that. He would notice it had stopped too, I'm sure. I mean, there's no way not to not notice it. But everything is quiet, just quiet and almost still. You can still hear the kind of a patter of rainfall hitting parts of the old tower and outside. But everything else is quiet on this floor.
Okay. How dark is it?
It's not, I mean, no, you can see it. It's pretty, I mean, because a lot of it's old towers broken in, so there's natural sunlight, or not sunlight now, of course, with a storm, but natural light coming in.
Okay, good. Okay, so Poofy's going to give the signal that she's going to sneak up and get Grug. He's kind of like waiting at the stairs, like just sort of like with his head just sort of hovered just above, like, just enough that he can see, He's might be crouched a little bit. And he still has his hand on his hammer, and so of course he's, she would, wave to him and get his attention because I said she had, so she'd wave at him and get his attention, though he probably already saw her, and he nods, and she's gonna move up to whichever door is closest to her.
You come in from the south. I mean, you would be closest to the south sections of doors, and more description on the doors. You notice they're all very heavy wood doors, and once you're able to see down that hallway more, you notice each door appears to have kind of like small windows in them, but instead of actual window itself, it's like bars that come down. Like there's 3 small bars that are some kind of like a viewing window that you could look in, but they're all barred, and each of those doors have that pretty much at normal eye level.
Oh, well, that'll make what I'm going to do much easier then. She's going to sneak up to the first door, and she wants to just like listen in and see if she can hear anyone or anything.
Yeah, now does she want to actually peer through this open open barred window or not?
If she does, she'll do it sneakily. Mostly she kind of wants to listen.
The first door on the south wall, you hear that.
And, okay. I tell you what, this is something I always have my robes have, but it wasn't on the list, so I didn't grab it. So if it's okay, I would like to have it, because it's something I always get in my robes. A small mirror.
Oh, yeah. You'd have any normal equipment, sure.
Okay, so she's gonna use that small mirror, and since there's bars, she's gonna put the mirror above her head and angle it so that she can see inside.
Yeah, the room itself is you would think probably 10 by 10. It's empty. You don't see anything in there. It's kind of like this whole room, this whole floor here. It's no furnishings in there. It's pretty much a lot of dust, you can tell, build up. Doesn't appear anybody's been in this room in a long time.
Okay. She's going to move up to the next closest door, sneak up to it.
Yep, still on the south wall.
You're going to be sneaking every time, so.
Yeah, and same thing, as you look in and maybe use your mirror on it. It's roughly 10 by 10, and same thing, it's empty, dusty.
And she'll repeat the process until she hopefully finds the princess or the 2-headed ogre.
You go to the last one on the south wall, and as you listen, you hear a faint breathing coming from inside this room. And as you look up, this is what you will see. Let me switch out my picture real quick.
It's going to be an old hag.
Nope, it's not him either. But let me get it switched over, and you'll see.
What the twist?
See this beautiful, beautiful elvish girl in there, and she's very fair skinned and very fair, light blonde headed, much like Varian described. And she's just kind of sitting in a corner, kind of holding her arms crossed, pretty much like in that photo. And she's just sitting there, like looking at the wall and just breathing very slowly and calmly.
Are there any other doors up in this area?
There's the north side. There's 3 similar doors, exactly like the south wall you just checked. She of course has not noticed or sensed you out there.
Okay. Is there any like candlelit or anything coming from any of those other doors?
No, you don't see any type of light source coming from behind any of them. Just general glance.
So, how far up are these bars? Like, I mean, could
they're probably 5 foot. If you were a normal human, you could just be standing there and looking eye level at 5 foot. But you do notice something else next to the end, just past the south door here, where you see her. You notice on the end of the deal where the wall itself ends. You notice there's like a big iron ring with a couple keys on it that's just hanging there on the wall.
Yeah, that's great. So, Poofy is going to cause she she's actually going. She's gonna raise her hand where the maiden would be able to see it, and she's gonna have just one finger up. And she's going to do a bird whistle into that ring.
Like she's going to hold a finger up to the barred window and just kind of hold her finger up. Okay.
Yeah, and hopefully the maiden will see it.
Yeah, you do that, and you do your bird call, and you hear her go, "Who are you? Are you here to rescue me?"
And as she starts to speak, Poofy's going to like with her hand wave her to shut up, just start waving her hand just stop.
And you hear her go, "Please, please, the giant, the 2-headed giant will be back soon. You've got to get us out of here."
Kid Gruck is probably hearing her talk down the hall.
Oh yeah, he can hear. She's talking real soft. But he can probably hear, distinguish a few words out of it.
Yeah, so he's probably gripping his hammer, thinking in his head, they always got to start fucking talking, And Poofy's gonna pull her thief tools out, and she's gonna see if she can just simply pick this lock.
Yeah, you don't want to try the keys at the end of the hall?
She's been sneaking around enough. She probably could sneak to them, but then she'd have to sneak back. She's probably skilled enough that she could pick a lock.
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be a detailed lock from what you're looking at. So yeah, just roll your skill check, and you can have advantage on it.
Okay, so it says trap sense is a +4 to noticing traps. I'm guessing, and then sneaky is a +4 to sneaking and hiding. I don't guess either of those give me advantage.
No, neither of them would actually work for disarming a lock. But of course you get advantage. So
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. So I do get advantage. Okay, cool. All right. Oh, and I do. It actually does say, in the book, on the road, that they get. Didn't it say that they get a +2, or did you say? I can't remember. Didn't it say they get a +2 for doing road things?
Well, let me see what it actually says.
No, it actually says that they just get they can do it, but anyone would be able to do it. So
yeah, it doesn't say anything, but like I say,
you to pick a lock.
But with being the rogue or whatever, you're getting advantage. So that would
okay. So you're going to give me advantage. Okay. That sounds good. Okay, cool. Yeah, nice. Okay, so with plus my level, that's a total of 19.
Yeah, you're able to work pretty fast on this, and you hear the mechanism of the lock itself kind of clink, 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 just enough, and you're pretty confident the door will open.
Okay, cool. So since I was successful, the thieves' tools actually have D8. Actually have dice usage as well.
Oh, do they? Okay.
I'm guessing that's only for if you like fail though, to see if you break the pick or. I don't.
Is it what does it say there? Does it say?
I mean, again, it was like 5 silver pieces for whatever, but you said like everything.
Oh yeah, I didn't have a set amount though for it.
Nah.
Because some of them have actual, I think, have set amounts.
It may have. I'd have to check it. I don't think it did.
Yeah, but it'd be no. I just looked. It does. It just So yeah, roll a d8. Even though I mean it was pretty successful. Roll a d8.
A 1. So I guess I had to do something in order to. I guess I had to use something to like keep something like popped up or whatever. So
yep. So drop it to a d6.
Okay. Man, I'm not getting lucky on those.
No, not at all on those. But yeah, you're pretty confident the door will open right up now.
Okay. Where are my feastals? I don't see them on the list, but I would have put them on there. Okay, well, I know I put them on there somewhere. Okay, anyway, yeah, so she opens the door. And she will, and when she opens the door, she will put her finger up to her mouth for the maiden, like signal her to be quiet, and and then signal for her to follow.
Yeah, and she says, who sent you?
And again, Puffy, like she kind of looks like she's not wanting to to disturb the ogre. And so she just kind of like puts her hand up, puts her like finger to her mouth, and then signals for her to follow again.
When she does that, she shakes her head and she says, I got to make sure I can trust you. Who sent you?
Okay. Yeah. Poofy will roll her eyes, and I guess she'll just tell her like quietly as she can, like, elf, blonde hair, like, Bard,
Yeah, and you would know it. His name was very.
name.
You would know his name. So when you tell her that, she says, "Oh, my companion. He's safe then."
And Poofy will nod, and then again, like, signal for her to follow, and like again, signal for her to be quiet.
Yeah, she says, "Yes, please though. That awful two-headed giant. He'll be back soon. I've never seen an ogre like him."
Okay. Yeah. So she'll begin to sneak back down towards Gitgruck, and when Gitgruck sees them coming, then he'll start making his way back down the stairs.
All right, you make it back down to the second floor. The wooden chest of treasure is still sitting there. Does somebody want to carry it with them now?
Yeah, I mean, well, let's see. Gitgruck has all this heavy armor on. How heavy is it? Like, could like potentially the halfling carry it, or?
No, you would think Git would probably have to carry it.
Okay, I mean, with his armor on and everything, would he be able to do that?
Yeah, I mean it's going to be a load on him, but I mean he can we'll say finagle it enough to carry it.
Okay, yeah. So he'll tie a rope to like each handle, assuming it has handles, and like he'll like pull the ropes up on like his back, like basically carrying it like a backpack, and he'll like start carrying it down.
Yep, and you do. Y'all make it back down the second floor and do that. You go back down to the ground floor and make your way. You're walking towards the stone pedestal, and it's still quiet. As you come around the stone pedestal and between the two tapestries, like the entranceway to walk towards the main where the main entrance is, the two large doors are closed now.
Oh, wow! Shit, we almost made it out. Were there any windows anywhere in this tower?
Yeah, each floor had like small crenulated windows, kind of like archer windows, that you could look out.
Okay, well, that's not going to be enough. Okay. This treasure, could they possibly put the treasure in sacks? Because I have sacks with me. I always carry one large sack and two small sacks.
Oh yeah, if you wanted to like transfer it over, yeah, you could do that.
All right. So, real quick, these doors are closed and everything. Hopefully, no one knows they're here yet. Maybe this is a clue that they do know that they're here. But either way, yeah, they're gonna put everything in sacks real quick. So that way they don't have to carry the chest itself.
As you're transferring everything over, you see movement behind one of these tapestries, the one to the west, is it just is like pulled down, and it's just crumbling down to the ground like it's falling down into a heap there. And as you do, you hear this noise, and you look up, and this is what you will see. It was standing behind it quiet and tried to surprise y'all, but it was unable to. You see this 12-foot tall giant with these two heads wearing these almost hide-looking leather piecemeal armor and stuff, and this natural stuff about him. And each large hand is holding these wooden clubs, and this frothy mouth of this stink and this stench that you've been smelling that's running down its body. And since he did not surprise you, we will roll initiative. So these six.
Do you want me to just? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess individual initiative since you're adding decks. Because I was going to ask if you want me to just do like.
Yeah, we'll do individual because it may work out better or may work out worse.
Oh, nice. Okay, so for Poofy, she. Let me see her decks again. I rolled a 6, but I gotta see her deck. Poofy. Plus 1 deck, so 7.
7 for Poofy, okay.
And Git is on a 5, so not bad.
Yep, I'm going to leave Git at a 5. Also, I'm not going to bump him up this time because the creature also had a 5, so we'll just kind of go. But Poofy, you're up first. Is this 12-foot tall, hideous, two-headed giant? Ogres, whatever all these different names it's been called, is standing there looking at all of you, and it's just in complete pissed off.
How far away is it?
10 feet. As this tapestry is falling down, you could tell it was hidden behind this tapestry waiting on y'all.
Okay. And how far away are like the doors?
Y'all would have made it. Well, y'all probably changed that stuff over. You're a good 25, 30 feet probably from the doorway.
Okay. Piffy will move back as far as she can. Let's call it, with her added weight now, maybe 20 feet. And she'll pop an arrow at it. So she's like 30 feet away, and she'll use her bow.
Shoot an arrow at it? That's fine. Okay.
And that's, that should definitely hit. 17 to hit.
Yep, a 17 will hit it.
And max damage. I've been hot on these 6.
So 6, right?
Yep.
Yeah, your arrow strikes into it pretty true. You see it look down at the arrow that's sticking out. A part of it's armored and part of its flesh, and it looks down at it, and now it looks back up like it's even more pissed off. As we'll go to Grit.
Yeah, Spiffy falls back, and she quickly pulls her arrow and slams this thing basically in the belly. We'll say she says to the elf "Get down!" And Grit, he pulls his hammer and says, "Been wondering when you'd show your ugly mug." And he has his shield, and he'll let out his Dorish battle cry, and he will rush this thing. Not so great this time. Only an 8, 9 to hit.
Nope, gonna miss him.
You don't add your level, right? Yeah, so only a 9 to hit. No, wait, hold on.
No, remember attacks, D20, hit bonus, and strength or dex.
Okay, so it's only your hit bonus and your strength or dex. Okay, so it's a total of 10 to hit, but still, he's not going to hit with that.
Nope.
So he kind of just comes forward and he swings his hammer, but he manages to just slam part of its hide armor or something,
Yes, you can tell it's a mixture of hide and leather and just natural itself. I mean, you can tell he's a pretty tough looking, but yeah, he definitely misses his thing.
Yeah.
Uh, you see it look down towards both of the heads, and both of these clubs come up as they both look towards Git, and both of them swing. You can tell that even though it's one body, that their minds each control one arm and one swing. So both of these clubs swing down at Git. Oh man, both of them are going to hit. Git will take a total of both of them hitting him. He will take 11 points of damage from both of them for both hits.
Oh man, yeah, Git's like definitely bloodied right now after that. Yeah, no, that hit him hard, much harder than he was expecting.
And it's just sitting there, and like I say, just a stench, that awful stench is just.
Oh,
awful.
hey, I forgot. I don't know if this will matter, but he's a dwarf, so against creatures larger than humanoid, he gets a +2 AC. So he would be at a 20 AC against this thing.
Yeah, they both rolled 15s, plus their bonuses are like 24 or 25. So yeah, they both still hit, unfortunately.
Okay, I just wanted to. So for future reference, he's at like.
Yep, I actually made me a note of that because I knew it would come in handy for both him and the halfling.
Yeah.
And speaking, what is Poofy's AC?
14 and a +2. That
16. Okay.
16.
And we will go back to Poofy then. Is she sees Git just get clobbered by this thing. You see the girl that y'all rescued or trying to rescue. You know, she runs in fear and is trying to hide somewhere. She just runs back out of the area.
Okay, yeah. Poofy will call to her and say, like, just run for the doors, get out, and she'll pull another arrow from her quiver and attempts to aim true. Being a little bit panicked now. She still manages to hit, but for much less damage. I'm pretty sure it's with a 50.
You'll need a 16 is what you need to hit this thing.
Okay, let me see. Dex, and yeah, that's just enough. She rolled a 14, and she gets a +1 bonus and a +1 dex. So 16 to hit.
Yep.
But only 1 damage this time as she kind of gets nervous, and the arrow basically just like grazes, it grazes straight between their heads and like just leaves a scratch on like each side of the chin.
Yep. And you can tell it doesn't even, like when it strikes him, he doesn't even pay any attention. He's so settled on this dwarf that is in front of him as we go to Git.
Yeah, well, Git's a dwarf through and through. He's not giving up without a fight, even though he's pretty hurt right now. Yeah, so he'll try and hit it again. I mean, I don't have any feats that are really going to help me against this. But this time he actually should hit it. He rolled an 18, and with all his bonuses, like
oh yeah.
So and he'll do 6 damage to this.
6, okay.
So
yeah,
he pops the creature in the knee with his hammer.
He definitely strikes into him pretty good with that hammer, and you can tell it hurt the thing, but it's still standing fairly strong as it settles its eyes back on Git and swings both of these massive clubs, each of the arms. One of them is actually going to miss. The other one's going to hit pretty bad. Well, the damage is 4. You take 4 points of damage, and the other one totally swings over and misses.
Okay, so the first one comes and misses, and the second one Git manages to raise his shield for, but it basically picks him up and slams him into the wall, and Git's not moving anymore.
Is he a 0?
Yeah, he's -1.
All right. Well, next round we will roll their chart and see what happens then. Let me get to that page, so we'll have it. You hear the creature kind of let out a what you would think almost be like a chuckle or laughter at seeing the dwarf down and not moving. As we go back to Poofy then.
Okay, what's the elf doing?
She is trying to just find a place to hide. She is in nothing but fright mode right now.
Great. I was hoping she'd open the door. And then
yeah, because I rode for her to see which way she went after you told her that, and she actually run back the other way.
Good job. Good job. Yeah, the probably Poofy is just like, good job. And she pulls her arrow again, knowing she's not gonna probably be able to open that door in time and everything before it would get to her anyway. So, nope, she's gonna miss.
All right.
So yeah, this time and she misses. She rolled like a 5. So yeah, so like her arrow just like she aims too low and it hits the floor.
All right, we go to Git, who is down. Roll a d4.
Okay. 1.
Oh no, 1 is not good. The character is
I don't
dead.
think any of them are good. Okay. Yeah.
So describe maybe if you want to, as far as what Git's last thoughts are. As he slams into that wall.
Git's life kind of flashes before his eyes, and he used to be a person, it seems, of some kind of importance, but his the trading business that he owned, it shut down, and he lost. You see him like basically losing everything, and he's so poor he becomes this beggar on the street. He becomes a beggar on the street, and the most important thing taken from him was his son, and by one of the rich nobles, and the noble tells him, if you can pay off your debt, we'll give you your son back. And that's when Git took up the hammer and decided to become an adventurer to attempt to save his son's life. And as he's fading, he just says, "I'm sorry, oof," and he dies.
For Git, he put up the battle the best he could against what he actually got to see. That now he can tell the stories, and wherever he goes, that there are actually two-headed giants in the world he lives in. And I just sent you a message on here, so if you see it, it's totally up to you. Poofy Mist, this creature, you see him turn his attention to the elf that is trying to hide his hostage, his singing voice that he evidently enjoyed. He's running towards her to try to grab her, it would appear. So when we go back to Poofy, as he's trying to get to her.
Okay. Oh man, how could this help? All right. So Poofy is going. Man, I don't know if this. I forgot all about the gifts I had. I don't know how this is going to help at this moment.
Well, that's all I can say. It's up to you. I just wanted to remind you.
I mean, it would work both ways, but maybe she could at least find a place to, I don't know, do something.
And like I say, that roughly she would have to run closer to, since she run back. But, once she ran back up where Git went down, she would know she's roughly 25 foot from the front doors in that area. But from where she's probably run back, she's a good 40 foot away from it now.
All right, dumb girl. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a clever idea at this point. Poofy's not gonna really want to leave without the elf, and I mean, this thing is more hurt now than it'll really ever be. So she's just gonna fire another arrow because I mean,
all right.
At this point, that's the only thing I can think to even try. Yeah, she's gonna miss again. I knew. Yeah, I roll really good at the beginning, and then when it comes to boss fight time.
Yep, you roll the you shoot the arrow, and it goes past this thing, and he doesn't even pay attention. You see the creature run, and one of the arms in one side of the head and one side of the arm is controlled, reaches down and grabs the the elf girl is, she's just fear and fright and just grabs around her. And as it, stands back up with her grasp in one arm, it's looking and looking, and the other one sees you and it starts running towards you. One of them is holding the elf girl. The other one still has this large club as it maneuvers its way, and that's all it can do is get right on top of you at this point. So it's back to you as this thing is standing right in front of you.
Okay. She will drop her bow then, pull her short sword, and try and stab this thing with her short sword.
All right.
And she's going to miss again.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, luckily, one of your arms and the club has been distracted by trying to secure and hold the elf girl. So only one of them strikes at you with this large wooden club and is going to hit you with a 20-something hit to do 7 points of damage to Poofy with that club.
And that brings Poofy down to 0.
0 exactly? Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, like...
you took max HP for everybody?
Oh, no, I took max on the first level, and then I rolled on the second one.
Oh, it's supposed to be max for everybody. Go ahead and give Poofy max then.
Okay. Oh, man, can't... My fighter out. Okay. All right. 12 and 7 points of damage.
Yep, 7 that time.
All right. I can't give max to my fighter.
No, not since you missed it. I'll give you the one nicety to give you enough to the one that's standing though.
I think that would leave me like 1 HP if I had him at max. Anyway.
Yeah, she's hit by this and probably slung around pretty good, but she's still standing as we go back to her then.
I might as well just try and finish the thing off, do what I can. Even if I hit it, I cannot finish it, but that one's even worse.
Oh no. Yeah, you missed this thing. I mean, you would think it would be pretty easy with it being much bigger and all that, but you can tell it's agile for its size and being controlled by 2 different brains and all that. But one of them's struggling, holding on to the elf girl, and the other one is going to swing at you with this club. Oh no. It's definitely going to hit with that, and you'll take 8 points of damage this time.
Okay, and she's dead.
She's down to 0 or below.
-3.
Roll a d4.
4.
The character is unconscious and stable at 0 HP, but I'm going to say that you are conscious. I'm going to set you by yourself. You're conscious and you're back at 1 HP if you want to do something.
She's going to play dead.
All right. You see the creature, standing over you, it's probably hard to play dead because of this awful stench coming off of it and its breath and all that. But, you stay there. I'm going to make a roll for it, though, just to see if it's going to try to check your body or anything to see, make sure. It takes its club, the one with the club still, and just kind of, pokes your body with it, trying to roll it over and mess with it. And you hear it grunt as it moves you, but it doesn't, it thinks it's knocked you, that you're out of it. But you see them turn around or it turn around and start going up, moving like it's going up to probably the 2nd floor at least that you know of.
Okay, she'll wait for a minute or so.
You can hear, you can definitely hear the heavy footsteps as it hits the floor of the 2nd, and you can hear it probably climbing on up to what you would think the 3rd floor of where you found the elf girl known as Melody. You can probably on the 3rd floor now.
Once it gets up that high, she quickly is going to scramble over to get Druck's body. And she's going to reach into the pouch where he had that potion earlier.
All right.
And she's going to be like in her head, like, I hope that, this guy was telling the truth. And she's going to down that potion.
Yeah. And you feel much better. You feel the almost like a warrior's feel. You feel so endured that you feel like you could fight a bear now. So Gives you pretty much temporary HP. So as you drink it down, you'll get 4. So you're back up to max of 5 right now.
Yep, and with that, she has her sacks full of gold and everything. So she's gonna run to the door and try to get the door open.
Yeah, once you get to the door, I mean, it's easy to open. I mean, you can tell this thing just closed them when he come in or whatever. But the door, yeah, you're able to get the doors open. They're not locked.
Yep, and she's gonna run away. I mean, she's gonna be like, sorry I couldn't rescue you, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing she can do. So yeah, she's running off. She's gonna run away and just try to get to the next town.
Yeah, you take the sacks, and I'll tell you what was in those sacks, and then we can do our endings. Um, what you found in the locked chest, or I mean, I'm sorry, unlocked chest that you put into the sacks, you found 12 platinum pieces, 101 gold, 226 silver, 559 copper. The silver ring had like kind of flower designs on it, and you would think it's worth about 30 gold. The chainmail was human size chainmail. If you had somebody ever checked it out, it would be a +1 set of chainmail. And the pendant had like grape clusters around the pendant, and you can tell it was made out of gold and amethyst. And you know it's very valuable. If you went to a big city and sold, you could get probably 1,000 gold for it. And as you flee the scene and leave poor Melody back to sing her tune to the two-headed Etten, tell us how the story is going to end for Poofy.
Yeah, so Poofy will, I mean, she feels really bad for it, but, she had no choice. She had to get away. So she gets away, and she heads over to the next town that she can get to, with her treasures and her treasures in tow.
Thank you for letting me know.
And she... and she will, just rest up there for however long she needs, the next, few days or weeks or whatever, paying them off with that treasure that she got. Feels remorseful over her companion Gitgruck, but she ultimately knows that there was really nothing she could do. She did everything she could.
Yep. And we go back to the Speared Wolf Tavern as Varian, sits there and waits, and he's nursing his wounds and drinking and eating, and he waits and waits and waits for y'all to return. As the two brave people who went to rescue his companion never return. As he leaves a few days later, it doesn't ever go back out to, they go back and retrieve the body of his bodyguard, but he never goes back out to check or anything, or never tries himself to locate where his companion Melody was taken. You see him traveling out of town a few days later, out of the village, and you hear him mutter to himself, "She had a beautiful voice, but all I wanted was that spell book. All I wanted was him to find my spell book and bring back to me. That was the most valuable thing I could have had. I wonder if she turned on him before they got her out." We go back to the tower where the Etten has secured or tried to secure Melody, the beautiful elf singer. And as Poofy makes her way out and escapes as this is going on, you see the Etten struggling with the elf and puts her down on the floor, and he turns to walk out and, to secure the door and lock her up again. You see her look up towards the Etten, and she goes, "It's too late now. I'm going to defeat you. My brother, he has my medicine that I need to keep me from doing this, but it's too late now. It's too late." You see the beautiful elf girl that was known as Melody, that was so beautiful and so kind, and you see her as she transforms and turns into this. These wicked looking claws and these wicked looking upper body of what you would think would be like a vulture, and this upper body of human elvish looking female as it takes flight and strikes straight into the Etten. And you hear the screams of it as the battle goes and rages and ends somehow, some way in that tower, but Poofy will never know. And that will end our adventure known as Melody's Canticle, using an adventure from Dungeon Magazine, issue 48. There was doubly named Melody. Changed quite a bit of stuff. Some things I didn't change, but that's what this adventure was based on, using Relics and Ruins. And thanks to Crystal for playing her two characters, Gitkirk, who unfortunately put up the best fight he could, and Poofy, who had no choice but to do what she had to save her own hide for another adventure down the road. And that will end this one.